Rear Admiral Rajesh Dharkar, Commandant, Naval War College, Commodore Anand Jaggi, Commodore Foreign Cooperation, Indian Navy, senior officers from navies and maritime forces from friendly foreign countries of the Indian Ocean region, officers from the Indian Navy and Coast Guard, gentlemen. A very good morning to all of you. It is indeed my proud privilege to deliver this welcome address at the 4th edition of the Goa Maritime Symposium 2022. On behalf of the Chief of the Naval Staff of the Indian Navy and Commandant Naval War College, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all delegates attending this symposium. As you are aware, the previous edition of the GMS, that is GMS 2020, was conducted over video conferencing last year owing to the COVID pandemic. Supported by technology, we were successful in bringing together GMS nations online from across the far reaches of our region and exchanged views on a wide spectrum of issues related to security of our collective maritime space, and that is the Indian Ocean region. The 100% physical participation in this year's edition is testimony to the symposium's growing acknowledgement as an effective and outcome-oriented platform for maritime discourse. Your collective presence underscores its commitment for leveraging our combined capabilities and capacities to secure a safe and prosperous future for our nations through dialogue, deliberation, discussion, decision, and delivery. The motto or the catchphrase of the Goa Maritime Symposium and the Goa Maritime Conclave is harnessing maritime thought. And these three desired end state, which is enhancing our regional prosperity by sustaining regional maritime security through cohesion, cooperation, commitment, collaboration, and connectivity. Let me start with the and purpose of the Goa Maritime Symposium. Conceptualized and instituted by the Indian Navy in 2016, the GMS is a forum for fostering collaborative thinking, cooperation, and mutual understanding amongst India and key maritime nations of the Indian Ocean region. The symposium is conducted biennially by the college, and 3 editions of the event have been organized thus far. Initially aimed as a platform for academic exchange and sharing of ideas amongst India's maritime neighbors, the symposium's vision underwent a transformation in 2020 when it was reconfigured as a working level or staff level interaction. The outcomes of deliberations on contemporary maritime challenges in the IOR at the staff level thereafter feed into the Apex Regional Maritime Engagement Platform hosted by the Indian Navy, that is the Goa Maritime Conclave. The aim of the GMC is to give shape to collaborative concepts among GMS-GMC nations, and consensus on common maritime priorities in the IOR was one such path-breaking key deliverable and outcome of the GMS 2020 and GMC 2021 constructs. Leading forward from the aforementioned outcome, the chosen common theme for this year's symposium and next year's Goa Maritime Conclave block is maritime security challenges in the Indian Ocean region, converting common maritime priorities into collaborative mitigation frameworks. GMS 2022 will see deliberations and articulation of views by participating nations on contemporary sub-themes pertaining to legal aspects, developing a common maritime strategy, leveraging collaborative training, and harnessing existing multilateral organizations and frameworks in the IOR. The Indian Ocean is the most important water body of the globe and the center of gravity from a geostrategic, geopolitical, and geoeconomic perspective. We are all well aware that matters relating to the oceans in general are assuming unprecedented focus and attention for global economic and social well-being of our nations, and are consequently increasingly being included as agenda in the international mind space. However, as we turn more and more to the oceans to harness its growing opportunities, we are also faced with its dynamic nature and a multitude of associated challenges. The vastness of the oceans and scope of challenges therein have brought to fore once again that no single entity, agency or organization can unilaterally deal with these emerging challenges in a meaningful, effective and sustained manner. This realization has been underscored by the continued presence and in some cases increased proliferation of transnational threats across the maritime seascape in our region, which are superimposed by the devastating effects of climate change. To quote one of our former Chiefs of Naval Staff, globalization has ensured that today there is no such thing as a non-maritime nation. Gentlemen, oceans are global commons for global good, and this imperative forms the guiding vision of the Goa Maritime Symposium and its associated apex-level conclave. In this hall present today are the current architects and executors of maritime security and future leaders and policy makers of maritime security of tomorrow, on whom will fall the mantle and responsibility of ensuring regional maritime safety and security in a decade from now. I am confident that the deliberations during the symposium, based on free and frank exchange of views and ideas, will help us to not only understand each other better, but also explore options before us, identify common sea lanes, as well as agree to disagree on aspects beyond our national jurisdictions. Gentlemen, we have but one common goal, and that is the onerous task of securing for our citizens a future centered on safe and sustained development under the umbrella of an enabling and secure maritime environment. Gentlemen, the inauguration of the Goa Maritime Symposium today also falls on the occasion of India's National Unity Day, which is celebrated each year on 31st October, the birth anniversary of one of India's greatest architects and founders, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. Sardar Patel, popularly known as the Iron Man of India, brought together more than 560 diverse princely states, dominions and royal houses to form the Republic of India. I'm sure, taking inspiration from the occasion, we will have unity of thought and unity of purpose as the most significant outcomes of our deliberations over the next 2 days. We must endeavour to draw out innovative concepts, concrete lines of effort, and implementable strategies for enhancing our overall maritime security in order to formulate input agendas for our respective apex leaders to discuss and deliberate in the Goa Maritime Conclave next year. Gentlemen, the time for action has come. The time for converting dialogue to delivery has arrived. The time for converting potential to kinetic energy is beckoning us. May the rising tide lift all our boats. Before we continue with the proceedings of the day, I would like to once again welcome all our distinguished delegates from across the Indian Ocean region to the Goa Maritime Symposium 2022. Some of you have travelled for more than 24 hours, taken many connecting flights and spent long layoffs between them. We are indebted for your presence and we thank you for ensuring a full quorum for the symposium. Let us work together, let us pull together and strive to make the 21st century truly the century of the Indian Ocean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request Commandant, Naval War College to deliver the opening address.
Distinguished delegates attending the Goa Maritime Symposium 2022, officers, gentlemen, a very good morning to one and all. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the opening address today. The symposium provides an excellent opportunity to maritime forces of like-minded nations of the Indian Ocean region to deliberate upon contemporary maritime issues. In true spirit of dialogue, the Goa series of symposia and conclaves enables participants to share their maritime perspectives with an aim to find ways and solutions to address the common challenges being faced by all of us in the maritime space. Gentlemen, the importance of Indian Ocean region is well known. The region has attained prominence on account of its geopolitical and economic significance, which is vital for our countries as we progress along the path of economic development and prosperity. It is certain that the IOR is poised to remain an area of interest of extra-regional powers vying for dominance in this space. We therefore need to be cognizant of the fact that the future of the world will be shaped to a large extent by political and economic interactions and convergence between stakeholders in the Indian Ocean region. In terms of economics, impact of the Indian Ocean on world economy is substantial. The region is home to 1/3 of the world's population, comprising about 25 nations. Our neighborhood is rich in energy resources and minerals, with nearly half of fossil fuel deposit of oil and gas likely to be available here. With over 3/4 of the world's oil trade crisscrossing the region, Indian Ocean region acts as a critical conduit for flow of international trade for not only Asia but the world's economy. Since time immemorial, the Indian Ocean has sustained a large segment of our populations both by providing employment as well as food security. Below the visible surface of this expanse, the deep seabed has emerged as a prime source of rare earth metals, polymetallic nodules and other precious resources, adding to its economic potential. The progress made to harness clean and renewable energy through offshore energy farms adds a new dimension to economic and strategic potential of the Indian Ocean. Every opportunity has its associated challenge, and the Indian Ocean region is not new to these challenges faced in the maritime domain. I would like to highlight a few of these challenges. The first is rise in regional tensions and instabilities in some area of the Indian Ocean region. The region has several flashpoints due to unresolved land and maritime issues. Disparity among nations in the region, failed and failing states in its periphery, and presence of fundamentalism and terrorism in a number of littoral states. All this has had a spillover effect from land to sea, giving rise to non-traditional threats and maritime security challenges such as piracy, terrorism and humanitarian crisis, necessitating military operations other than war, such as humanitarian assistance, disaster relief and non-combatant evacuation. The maritime domain has also witnessed thriving crime syndicates who utilize legal and physical gaps to proliferate gun running, drug trafficking and human smuggling. While we all agree that the task at hand for the maritime agencies is often well cut out, the resources and respective domestic laws of the land do pose challenges in dealing with these issues, both over land and at sea. However, the recent surge in number of non-state actors and tactic support that they enjoy from certain states has enhanced their sphere of influence and action. The second challenge is increasing militarization in the region. The increased economic benefits reaping the region's rich wealth will also attract some more local and outside players into this region. A number of leading powers today maintain or seek to expand existing military presence in the region to safeguard their own interest, often fielding forward deployed military units for extended duration in an already contested space. In order to sustain such a presence, these countries are creating dual-use infrastructure in some countries across the region. I am sure we will agree that a majority of countries in our region, being developing nations, have our own challenges to address, which leaves limited resources to meaningfully address these areas of common concern. They often have inevitably to align themselves with the pervading schemes of developed extra-regional powers. This in turn results in creation of security frameworks shaped and steered by extra-regional powers, further complicating the regional maritime security environment. The third important issue that I wish to highlight is the continued vulnerability of this region to natural calamities. The coastal regions and many other island nations are densely populated and therefore suffer damage to life and property in the event of a major natural calamity. What has also emerged is that in aftermath of such disasters, the fastest and mostly the only way to gain access and provide succor to affected areas has been through sea. Gentlemen, you will notice and agree with me that challenges in the Indian Ocean that I spoke of have one common thread. They are all transnational in nature. The threats that they pose and the geography that they inhabit transcends traditional borders of enforcement and policy. Since the region is vast and diverse, it would not be feasible to have a single or a straitjacketed approach to ensure security of the region. The need of the hour is therefore to have an open, collaborative approach tailored to meet aspirations of each participating state, to set in place an effective mechanism for addressing challenges that lie ahead for all of us. May I add that these contemporary maritime challenges would require collaborative strategies and participation from the majority, if not all the stakeholders. I would also take this opportunity to highlight initiatives being taken by India towards furthering security of the region. The Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, has outlined that civilizational ethos that guides India in its quest to realize these aspirations. India follows a maritime cooperative framework that acknowledges and respects sovereignty, willingly aids countries, whilst at the same time paving way for self-reliance of the recipient country. This principle of maritime security was recently espoused by the Honorable Prime Minister at the UN Security Council. Accordingly, our cooperation initiatives directed at enhancing maritime security are undertaken in consonance with the Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region. We are not only committed to safeguard India's maritime territories and interests, but also assist other countries in the region. The Navy has focused on capacity and capability building, training, hydrographic and HADR assistance, coordinated as well as conducted patrols and joint exercises with our neighboring maritime agencies. The Indian Navy has also been at the forefront of providing quality training to our friendly neighbors at naval training institutes in India and by deputing mobile training teams to countries based on the need of the host navies. The effort also includes regular embarkation of personnel from navies as sea riders during overseas deployment of Indian naval ships for practical training. Gentlemen, for our collective aspirations to bear fruition and for the impact to be sustainable, having a peaceful, stable and secure maritime environment in the region is a prerequisite. I am sure that over the next 2 days, this forum will provide an opportunity to deepen our understanding of the security challenges in the IOR and help formulate mitigating strategies based on the common maritime priorities declared by our respective apex leadership in Goa Maritime Conclave 2021. Before I conclude, I would like to thank the navies and other maritime forces of participating countries for having accepted the invite to attend this symposium. I wish this edition and all future editions of the Goa Maritime Symposium immense success. I am sure that outcomes of discussions on the contemporary and thought-provoking themes of the GMS will manifest into concrete deliverables for the Goa Maritime Conclave 2023 for deliberations at the apex level. Thank you and welcome to all of you once again.